let's just see. Next view, okay, I've done that. So if anybody is watching this, just bear with us. We're just getting set up. I think it's working now. Go live. Okay. Yes, we're here. We're live. This is the first time we've used external software. So we've used Restream. And then let me just check. Hi, Nicola. We've used Restream and Instagram all at the same time, and it's a bit like, so yeah. Anyway, I think we're on, and I think it's all working okay. And let me just check. I can view it live on Instagram, so I'm going to just watch it from there, or do it from there, Kirsty. Right, we've got people coming in, which is lovely. This is so exciting because it's our very first VA Live Lounge, and we thought we would do this because there's loads of podcasts, aren't there? There's loads of podcasts out there in the world, but people want convenience, and for me, I just don't have the time to be faffing about with bloody podcasts. So I thought, right, what we'll do is we'll just do a live, nice and easy. People can jump in. Hi guys, and then we can just have a real informal chat, and people can get involved, which would be really nice. And maybe we'll repurpose it because that's what all good VAs do, and turn it into a podcast. Right, and I'm just also got my phone next to me as well to see if I can see from another account it going live. Can you, Kirsty?
Yeah, let me just have a look on mine.
I can. Oh look, it's so weird. I can hear myself.
I can see you're live. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, there's me.
I'm going to turn that down, but it's really good because I'll be able to pop in and answer any questions on there as well, because there's a delay on this channel where I look like I'm about 5-10 minutes behind what I'm actually saying. This is easier to look on here, but pop over here to answer any questions. So I'm going to introduce myself quickly. I am Lisa Tennant, so I am also a VA, a tech VA, but I'm the owner of LTVA Services, which is a VA agency. And this is Kirsty, and I never really know how to introduce Kirsty because Kirsty has been with me now for this is our 3rd year together, isn't it? And it's like we're married, right? We love each other. But Kirsty, well, she's my sister, but it just feels weird because you're basically like my left limb, aren't you? Really, you're not my assistant. You're like my everything. So Kirsty's our client magic maker, which is like an account manager. She takes care of all of our clients, our associates, and she takes care of me, and I don't know what I would do without her. So that's who we are, and we're going to come at you live every Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning UK time to talk to you about all things VA and to help you as much as possible in your VA business, because it's really, really difficult getting started as a VA or being a VA or being a freelancer or working remotely nowadays. It's really, really difficult because it's an isolated environment. You don't always know where to turn or who to turn to. So we thought, well, we'll do this and we can just have some real honest conversations with nothing for us to gain out of it other than to just give some insights and to help people out. So first of all, it'd be great if the people that have joined could just let us know where you are in the world. If you could pop a comment, let us know where you're watching from. That would be really super interesting. I'm in the Peak District in Derbyshire. Kirsty, do you want to tell everyone where you are?
I'm in sunny Torquay in Devon. Well, I say sunny, sort of sunny. It's getting there.
Sort of sunny. Yeah, well, we've got the lovely countryside. You've got the lovely seaside, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I'll be down the beach this weekend, I think.
Oh, how lovely. How nice. Oh, I've just come back from a week in Egypt and Hurghada, and it was lovely to be by the beach. It
Yeah, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, definitely. Right, nobody. Oh, here you go, Nicola Knox near Cambridge. Oh, what a lovely part of the world Cambridge is. Oh, so nice. What's the weather like there today, Nicola? Let us know. We always want to know about the weather, don't we, us Brits? Is there anyone joining that isn't in the UK? I can see a few people that might not be from the UK. Let's have a look. Right. Okay, I'm sure they'll pop in. Oh, it's cloudy. Nicola said it's cloudy. Oh dear.
Oh.
Well, I'm looking out my window and we've got a few clouds as well, but I can see sun, which is nice. When we got back from Egypt the first day, it was absolutely boiling hot. Well, not boiling hot. That was probably an exaggeration on Sunday. It was really, really nice. I did get the garden furniture out for a couple of hours.
I put my washing out for the first time this year.
So did I. How good was it to put your washing line?
I know.
We've got a puppy. He's only 6 months old, and he was like, "What is going on? What are these humans?"
Oh, bless
But
him.
yeah, it was nice to put the washing on the line. Okay, so we want to talk to you today about getting started as a VA because lots and lots and lots of people are coming into this industry, and I'm not going to lie, it's bloody hard. It's not easy, and I think I was talking to Kirsty. I met somebody recently at a networking event who was becoming a VA. Oh, Nicola, yeah, of course. We'll post this on the socials, and we're going to have it on YouTube as well. So, and we'll share all the links and everything afterwards if you've got to go because you've got a little baby. Oh, how cute. And also, if you do go to the link in our bio, there's a resources sign up. So if you sign up to our resources, you get access to our entire membership area, which is completely free. It's got loads of resources in there. Like our templates done for you, agreements, that kind of thing. There's a community channel, and also we'll just send you out, on an email, the links and things like that. More people are joining now. Let us know where you are in the world. It'd be great to know, and what the weather's like. One that's got some sun. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, I met somebody recently, and they were getting started as a VA, and they were so super excited, and I was excited for them. But I thought, it's just is really difficult. So if we can do something to help today, Kirsty, then I think that's what we should do. And I want to talk about really today what I think the number one priority is for virtual assistants. Anyone coming into this market, what they need to do is to niche. I think it's just so important because it is a saturated market because there's people from all countries doing it, and it's hard to find clients. But if you niche and you've got a specialism, then you can target your messaging very differently then. So you're not all shouting into the same, the same noise really. And for me, it's thinking about, it doesn't mean that you have to have a degree in something. It doesn't mean that you have to be qualified in something. Just think about your past experiences or your past employment and what element of that you could take and bring it into the VA world and turn that into a niche. So just to give you an example, my last job, I was employed before I did this, but I'd run a business previously to that. But I managed a charity, and I did that for 8 years. So I managed a team of staff, I ran events, I fundraised, I had to deal with the charity commission, I had to deal with trustees, be on a board. And so I could easily have then just become niched into the charity sector. And so I just thinking about what you can do that sets you apart, so you're not just a VA. What can you do that's different so that you can target your messaging to the right audience? Kirsty, what did you do before you became a virtual assistant, and what brought you into this?
Well, I was the operations manager for an alcohol exporter, and we sold on Amazon as well. So my niche really was sort of promoting the fact that I could handle selling on Amazon, handling the orders and that kind of thing. But I think you're right, though. You do need to have a niche, because once you've got a niche, you can then promote other things that you can do. So, you know, if you get a client comes in that you can use your niche with, you can also then promote other things like, you know, the admin side or phone calls or anything like that. So if you've got a starting point, you can just build onto that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are scared to niche because they think that they're going to alienate the rest of the audience, but that doesn't happen. If you're never going to alienate people, because like you've just said, you'll bring it back to what you do anyway. So if let's say you're targeting your messaging and pointing people to a website and it's all about, I don't know, maybe you've got a legal background, it's all about legals. That doesn't mean you can't then include on your website or on your socials that you also offer admin support. It's just that you're going to go after the kind of people then that are more aligned to you. So I do think niching is just so important if you're starting out. If you're just a VA and you're just doing the stuff, not just a VA, because VAs are bloody awesome and they literally run businesses. And I think, you know, are massively underrated. But if you're a VA and you're offering the same as everyone, which is, I do admin, social media, you're really going to struggle. You really are going to struggle. And by the way, a caveat to that is only offer social media if you can do it really, really well. And if you understand marketing really well, because otherwise you're going to do a poor job and you're going to get bad reviews. So don't feel like you have to say you can do all the stuff every VA does. You know, you don't need to do that. You need to do what you can do. So I would say, after this live, or if you've got a pen and paper in front of you, write down your past experience, you know, what you've done in the past. Like my first business, I ran a laundry and ironing company for 10 years. And so I employ people. I could have niched into the recruitment sector, you know, how you recruit people, that kind of thing. I could have niched into business startups. So, you know, aiming for people that are just starting a business because I know enough about starting a business. So there's loads of different things you can think about from your past. You know, I fostered. I could have, you know, gone into some sort of, into that remit, you know, working with private foster carers and that kind of thing. So there's just so many elements of your past experience that you can bring to the table and think about, okay, well, maybe that could be my specialism. It doesn't mean that's all you're going to offer, but it does mean that you'll start to think about your ideal audience in a different way. Your ideal audience is so important. You probably hear this get spoken about all the time in the business world, but it really is important. VAs, you tend to say, as a VA, who could you work with? The answer is everyone. Work with everyone. Well, you can, can't you? You can work with absolutely everybody. Bye, Nicola, no problem. She's got to go, but yeah, no worries. You've got a little baby. That's obviously more important than us two nattering away. Well, it's so important. What was I saying now? God, I've got perimenopausal brain, just so you know. What was I in the middle of saying, Kirsty?
About your audience.
About your audience. I've got Kirsty. Your audience, because you need to know what if you don't know your ideal audience, you will get your messaging all wrong. So you'll get all of your language on your posts wrong, you'll get your email marketing wrong. So you've got to know who your audience is, and the best way to know your audience is just to know what your niche is. So that's what I would say. And then I would say the next most important thing is stop worrying about having a bloody website. How many people worry to death about having a website? Kirsty, how long have you been a VA?
This will be my 3rd year this year, and I don't have a website.
Oh, Kirsty doesn't have a website, right?
No. And do you know what? It is an absolutely natural thing to think, right, I'm starting my own business. What I need is this app, this website, And you don't need to have that. The only thing I would suggest is to have a really basic landing page, just to say, you know, this is who I am, a little bit about you. Put some personal bits in there as well, because people really like to get to know you as a person. You don't have to have a massive website with pages and pages of this and pages. It's just not needed. I don't have one, and I probably will never get one.
Yeah, it's true. And that's probably because you don't want to build a website. Lots of VAs try to build their own website. And it's really expensive to get them built, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
absolutely. And you just don't need one.
No, it's great to have one, but what I'm saying is it's not necessary. It's not the most important thing in the world. It shouldn't be the thing that stops you from launching your business. Whilst we're talking about this, it'd be great if people just drop a comment about, if you've had time to think about what your niche would be, what would it be? It'd be really interesting to hear what people's niches would be. But the website thing, like at the end of the day, unless you're paying a fortune on Google Ads, no one's going there anyway. So your website is normally the place you send people to, not where they're going to come from. So not initially. So it's more important to establish your audience, to establish yourself, like on social media, build up a mailing list. But you don't necessarily need to have a website that's all bells and whistles and tells everybody exactly what you do and what your services are. You can have a link in bio, something like that, something quite simple. And then the other thing is, you could just have, especially if you're just getting started as a VA, a simple sign up page that says, my services are coming soon. Sign up if you want to know more about what I'm going to be offering. And that way, you're going to build up your mailing list, but also you're going to start to already have a bank of ideal clients, people that are interested in your service. You're not saying sign up and you'll get a discount first time. It's just going to be, if you're interested to know what I'm going to be offering when I launch, then sign up here and I'll send you an email when I've launched the business. So it's a really good way to avoid having to have a website, but you still get people signing up. Because I think people feel like they have to have a website to have a place to collect information, and that's not necessarily true. It just bogs you down. Like you say, I think that's really good advice. Just having a simple landing page with some information about you is great. When it does come to having a website, I would actually say make sure you've got your customer journey really simple, so that it's you're making it really convenient, which is a booking link. I do see a lot of websites where it's an inquiry form, and actually I think that it just puts people off. Whereas if you can just have an instant book a call, then you definitely should. But you don't need a website for a book a call. You don't. If you've got Calendly or you've got Acuity or any other calendar app, just to have your link in your bio, and that's it. So I would say stop stressing about having a website initially. It's not important, and it's not the thing that should stop you from getting your business off the ground. So if that's what you're holding back for, then I would say just don't do that. So yeah, that's my advice to you. But no one's letting us know about their niches. Come on, guys, you must have an idea of what your niche would be.
Don't be scared.
No, don't be scared. Don't be scared. And then what other things do you think is really important for getting started as VA? Your equipment's really important as well. Now, I started as a VA, and the reason I started was I was furloughed during lockdown, and I realised, I think a lot of people realised when lockdown came, that they could make choices in their life, because you were suddenly out of the 9 to 5 grind and you was like, whoa, what do I want to do with my life? I certainly did. And I woke up, I'll never forget, it was in the September lockdown. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I could not sleep. I went and sat at my computer and I thought, what do I want to do with my life? What's going to make me really happy going forward? And I wanted to travel. That's what I wanted to do. And I thought, well, if I want to travel the world, I need a job I can do anywhere. So I started looking up, the jobs that we could do from anywhere. And I'd never heard of the VA world before, came across it, and I was like, oh my God, this is the thing I need to do. Because I'd run a business for 10 years and never got any help at all. And I know how it feels from the business owner perspective. So I knew I could really help people. And that's how I got started. But the number one thing I really needed then was to be remote. And to do that, you need a laptop. So I would say a laptop is so important, probably more than a desktop. Kirsty, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started in the VA world. I was made redundant from my previous employed role. And I kind of thought, it was a really hard time when I was made redundant. And I kind of thought, if I'm going to work that hard, I'm going to work that hard for myself. So I set myself up and I did some research and I thought, right, first thing I need is a computer. So I went and bought a desktop computer, which was great, but a laptop all the way. If you haven't got yourself a piece of equipment to use yet, definitely go for the laptop, because it just means that you can, go out to a cafe, have a nice coffee and use your laptop from there. You can just be so much more mobile. And I have, in the last month, purchased a laptop, which has been, brilliant, because I can go and sit downstairs or I can sit outside or whatever. So definitely a laptop.
And Kirsty only just got her laptop, like 3 years in. And literally we worked for an award, weren't we, a few years ago? And she came from Torquay to Derby on the train for like 3 hours and didn't have a laptop. I would use that time to work, but obviously she didn't have one. So I would say a laptop is really important. A second phone, because what you tend to do is put a personal phone number out for WhatsApp, and you will get clients that do not understand boundaries. And I'll be honest with you, I only got a second phone last year. I was just like, I can't deal with the overwhelm of the notifications. That there's more that than anything else, because I'm quite firm with my clients and they know that they can message me, but I'm not going to respond past certain times. But I just still couldn't bear all of the notifications. So I just got a cheap Motorola £60 second phone, where it's just for WhatsApp basically. So I don't give my personal number out to clients anymore. So I would say that's really important. And probably just some good noise cancelling headphones as well, So if you are out and about and you're on a call, it's not going to be disruptive to the person that you're on the call to. So I would think that that's important. If anyone else has got any tips on what you think would be the most important bits of equipment to have as a VA, just drop us a comment. It'd be great to know what your thoughts are. But that's my personal opinion. I haven't really needed anything more than that. The only thing I did buy, we travelled, we toured Southeast Asia for 5 months. I homeschooled my boys, went off, did this amazing thing whilst running the business, which of course I couldn't have done without Kirsty because she was managing it on UK time. I bought an iPad mini, which was just fit in a little handbag, and it was so good. I was literally on tops of mountains with my iPad mini, bouncing off my phone Wi-Fi at times, doing a bit of work every now and again. And it was just so handy because it was really compact, and you could buy like a little keyboard that you can get cheap from Amazon to go with it. So I would say if you're doing any form of remote traveling and working, it's a really good option to have as well. It's not that expensive. So yeah, I think that's really important. And then I would also say this is the hardest thing about becoming a VA is getting clients. The number one difficulty you're going to face is, I'm here, I've built my amazing website, I know what I'm going to charge, I've got my niche. Where the freaking hell is everybody? We're still need, right? And it is. So it's all about building your experience. The first thing I did was I joined another company. So I worked with Time, etc., which is UK and USA based. And I spent my first year building up my experience by working with them and earned really good money. And I really do think to initially get started, especially if you want to leave employed, because a lot of people will still be employed and you're going to be in that really difficult, chicken and egg kind of situation where you want to break free from the employment, but you don't have the finances and you just won't ever quite get there. Whereas if you work with a company like Time, etc., although the pay isn't as great as what you would get working for yourself, the great thing about that is you can quickly build up your income and you're going to build up your experience. You're going to make all your mistakes under someone else's brand and not yours. And then once you've got that experience, you can then go branch out on your own. The great thing about a company like Time, etc., is they really do look after you. They are there, they are supportive, and I would highly recommend them. I probably wouldn't recommend companies like, not that I wouldn't recommend, but if you're paying for leads through like Bark and Uplead, then you're just constantly paying out and you might not see very, very much back. Whereas Time, etc., it's not going to cost you anything. It's free. They interview you, make sure you're a good fit, and then I'm sure they'll explain. We could probably do a whole episode on Time, etc. But it is something I would highly recommend because you're going to build your experience. You're going to have some money coming in, but also you're not going to feel so guilty when this can sound pretty awful, but when you're then ready to launch on your own, to leave those clients and to go off on your own, or even to keep a few of them or to downgrade, because you've got that support of that team to say, look, I'm actually going to go start on my own now, so I need to drop some of these clients. And then because you at the same time, in tandem with working with a company like Time, etc., you'll also be building up your own business, is what I mean. So that's what my advice would be. What do you think, Kirsty?
To be honest, I completely agree. I mean, I've come so far in the last 3 years since I've been, working with you as an agency, and I think, when you make that jump to do this, it's massive. It's a huge thing to do because nobody can predict what's going to happen. Nobody can say what's going to happen, and you can, work and work and work and get there, but you've got to have an income, because when you're promoting your business and looking for clients, you're not earning money. So to work with somebody like Time, etc., or get as many associate positions as you can to have an income, which gives you more, less worry and less stress about bringing an income in while you're trying to promote your business. So absolutely recommend working with Time, etc., us, other agencies, definitely.
Yeah. Claire Turnbull has just popped in and said she'd really like to include home life admin services. I'm going to tell you now, Claire, there's a massive market for that. I don't think you'll be a jack of all trades. I would probably go down the life admin route as your niche. You will naturally still find people that want professional services. And I'll tell you, this is the God's honest truth now. This Sunday, my husband and I have scheduled in time to come to my office with our computers to do life admin. That's literally on our calendar, because I cannot cope with the amount of life admin there is to do. I have to fill in a referral form for one of my children, sort out an autism assessment for one of the others, respond to a load of emails because we're in the middle of buying a house. Literally, the amount of life admin shit that I've got right now that I cannot keep up with. We've got a shared notes, me and my husband, like who's doing what. And I said, I can't deal with this. We just need a sit down session, at the office. We'll go and grab some breakfast. We'll bring it to the office and we'll just do it. But that, I think, is a great service. And I have done loads and loads of actual. I had one client that only wanted that type of support. I used to order his. Claire will do it for me. Amazing, Claire. I love that. Brilliant. I had a client, and all I would do for him is order his wife's flowers, book find events for him and his little girl to go to. I would sort out private parties and things like that. So it's all people want this, and if you can put yourself out there as a home life admin service, you're going to be niche straight away because everyone else is offering professional services. And trust me, people want it. I pay for someone to do my ironing because I just do not have the time. I've got a professional dog walker because I just do not have the time for that. And so there's a place for it remotely as well. Absolutely, Claire, you need to do it. And I'm going to be following you to check in and make sure you're definitely doing it as well. And I'll see how good you are. Then I might take you up on your offer.
I had a client once. I used to do his weekly online food shop for him because he just didn't have the time, and he just used to send me a list through. He used to send me what he wanted to eat throughout the week, 3 meals, and I used to go onto his online shopping thing and do the actual ordering for him because he just didn't have the time to do it.
So elderly people who can't get out, they don't know how to do it. So there's always going to be people like that who just don't know how to do it. The other thing is, Claire, we're probably going to do a whole episode on this, but access to work. So there'll be a lot of people that can get access to work. If you've not heard of it, it's a government scheme where they will pay virtual assistants. They pay people like us to help them. We've got some clients that way who will probably really need some life admin support. So you can learn a bit more about that as well. And then you can use that in your messaging, because you can't actually go and get signed up as a registered access to work person. We've already looked into that. But you can be letting people know that they could be getting access to work support and then coming to you through this. So Claire said she's doing all this for my elderly neighbour. I've been looking after him since lockdown. Oh, bless you. That's so amazing. In lockdown, we did the same. I was working for the community centre, so we turned it into a base for the elderly, and we just went all in on doing people shopping and all of that. So it's such important work. Well done to you, Claire. But there's always business opportunity in everything you do. So you can continue to do that for your neighbour, but you can be offering it to other people, and they could be paying for it. So 100% do that. Associate work, you said there, Kirsty. Obviously, you're an associate with me, but like I say, I hate it. You're so much more than that. But we have an incredible team of associates, and I think taking on associates or becoming an associate is really, really, really valuable as well. And not just because it will bring in some money while you're building your business. Actually, a lot of our associates don't want to market themselves. They're not comfortable. They're happy to be associates because they don't want to put themselves out there. So if you're a person who doesn't want to be on socials, get in front of the camera, doing all this bloody stuff because it is a headache, then be comfortable being an associate. Find someone who's going to pay you a good rate. One of the things that's difficult for a lot of VAs starting is finding associate roles because of lack of experience. Now, the thing is, I don't know, you'd have to do your research. We found this when we started taking on associates. We had some bad experiences. But instead of looking at where it went wrong with the associates, we looked at where it went wrong internally. And what I discovered was that we wasn't really making a space available for VAs that were only able to offer admin. What I mean by that is VAs try to be everything. So you're going to be a tech VA, you're going to be marketing VA, you're going to be, then you're going to do all the admin stuff, and you're going to be a bookkeeper, you're going to know all about HR. That's, to me, that was like wrong, because also clients aren't necessarily paying the right fee for that. So what we did personally in LTVA was we stripped back the services and we turned them into 3 main price plans, which is simply admin, which means you only get admin, you don't get tech or marketing, admin plus marketing, and admin plus tech. That meant, one, we could then charge a higher rate to clients who were going to have tech and marketing. It also meant we would then pass on the right rates to the right VAs for the right skill set. But it also meant that VAs that only had admin experience were not going to be excluded. We weren't going to like alienate them. They'd still come to us and not lie about their experience, because that was one of the problems we were faced with, where they were embellishing what they could do because they felt they had to have all these other skills. So by segmenting off the admin, we then found we could get people coming in that said, they were comfortable saying, I can only do this and I can't do that. It also protects our associates from clients trying to get them to do work that they're not qualified for or not being paid the right rate for. So within our agency, if, let's say, a client's on a Simply Admin plan with a Simply Admin VA and they want marketing, our VA is comfortable enough to say, no, you're not paying the right fee for that. I'm not getting the right fee for that. You need to go back to the lead VA and you need to upgrade your plan. So look for VA agencies like that who are going to be able to, offer you admin only work. If you don't have tech and marketing experience, please don't be tempted to lie about what you can and can't do. So I think, work as an associate, it's really, really good experience, especially if you find a really good lead VA or agency to work with. It's really important. And we've got the most amazing team. And also, what work associate, it gives you a community as well. It does with us, because we have our own private chat group. We all support one another. Even me, I was in there begging one of the team to help me with charts on an Excel spreadsheet yesterday. So we all come with our own specialisms and help one another out. We've got Demi, who is like a flipping whiz on WordPress. We've got Sarah, who's just like the most amazing website builder. And then we've got just got so many great people. I love our team. They're so fantastic. And I couldn't be without them, to be honest. So think about building up experience with companies like Time, etc., associate work, but maybe avoid paying for leads. And then I would say my 3 top tips are the most important places to get work is networking, LinkedIn, and prospecting. I made a comment about this on a VA community group the other day and got told I was wrong. Sorry, love, I'm not wrong. Okay. And this is the reason why. Networking is so, so important. And I mean face-to-face networking. Yes, you can do online networking, but I'm telling you now, face-to-face network is the way to go, because you've got to be consistent. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep going to the same ones. Because what happens is you build up a community of business people that you know, and they become your friends. And then you're at the forefront of their minds. It's not always about the people in the room. It's about the people they know in another room. So they're going to then tell their friends about you. Oh, yeah, you need a VA. Oh, I know somebody. And most of our business comes from networking. And it's also enjoyable. Yeah. It gets you out there with like-minded people. You're talking about being, the business world. So I do think networking is really important. LinkedIn is just a no-brainer for me. Like, why are you hanging out on Instagram? Like, for example, with Claire, with what Claire wants to do, it's actually probably really relevant to Instagram. But LinkedIn is your B2B. It's where your professionals are. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing a massive market. And I know people don't necessarily like LinkedIn, but once you're on there, it's just like being on any other platform. My advice was, if you've never been on LinkedIn before and you're scared of the platform, just repurpose your posts that you've already got whilst you get used to it. This is where I got annual run, and I don't agree with that. I think, look, just post out what you're already posting on LinkedIn just to get you used to the platform, get you visible, and then prospecting. So we use Sales Navigator. It's $79.99 per month, 1 month free trial. Not that you have to use that, but we did cold outreach, and we'd still do cold outreach. And I'd use things like a video or a voice note, and we've got clients that way. So you can't just post on social media and think that's how you're going to get clients, because you're not. You've got to be out there. You've got to do trade shows, exhibitions. You've got to do networking. You've got to be on LinkedIn. You've got to be cold outreach. It works. It does. It's not for everyone. Don't have to do it, but it does work. There's lots and lots of ways that you can get clients rather than just through posting on social media. What would you say, Kirsty?
I completely agree with you. I mean, when I first started doing this, I had no idea about social media, and to be honest with you, I can do some stuff, but I'm like with technology, rubbish. And actually, I was frightened of LinkedIn. It's like a grown-up Facebook in my eyes, and I think it's really hard sometimes to actually big yourself up and talk to people about what you like doing. Like, one of the VAs on our team, she doesn't like to talk about herself. She doesn't like to big herself up and say how amazing she is at doing what she does, because she just doesn't like doing it. And people find it hard to sit there and type, I'm Kirsty, and this is what I can do, and this is what I love doing. And because it's not a natural thing to do, is it? And that's what puts people off of LinkedIn, because they don't want to send out messages saying how amazing they are and what skills they can do and what they can do for their client or that client. So it stops people from marketing themselves and going out to networking events and speaking face to face. So it is absolutely key to be able to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're right. You've got to do it, and you can't be scared of the follow up either. If you're networking, then you connect with them on LinkedIn, then you follow up. Do you want to have a virtual coffee? The amount of conversations I've had that might not have gone anywhere, but wow, I've learned so much about this person, and now they're on. I have I call it my little black book. It's a spreadsheet of everybody I've met networking, and if someone asks me for a referral, I always go to that spreadsheet first and look to people that I've met.
Yeah. And I always think, and this is the advice I give to so many people when I say to them about marketing and sales, what is the worst that can happen? Just imagine if you sent 20 messages out, you might get 5 new clients from sending those 20 messages out. And if and you've got to keep on every week, 20 messages, and just keep on pushing yourself. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
That can happen, exactly. If you don't try, you don't know, do you? Claire's asked, are there any services that you're not able to offer or skills that are hard to find? So do you mean for us looking for associates, or just like what we've come across in the world of being a VA? Because I would say one of the things that is really hard to find is really good tech VAs. But that might not be your specialism. By tech VAs, I mean specifically CRM automation, CRM systems. That's what I do day in and day out. But I always feel like I have to do it personally because it's really hard to find other people that can do it as well. That would be one. The other one is if you can do anything in the neurodivergent space as well. Yeah, so it's for our agency and in general. Anything in that type of space. Look, for example, one of the things we've found is if we work with clients that are neurodivergent, it becomes very difficult because they don't always know how to bring things back to what we're supposed to be talking about. So it goes off on a tangent, and then there can be a lot of frustration. If you were able to solve that problem, look, I don't know, I've sat there and thought, if I could create a system, or I could create a method, strategy, whatever it is, to help VAs and neurodivergent clients together, then I would love to do that, but I just don't have the time to do that. So that would be an amazing problem to solve, to have some sort of system where they work together, if you know what I mean. But yeah, for me, it's finding people that are really good with tech and generally really good with social media, because loads of VAs say they're really good with social media and they're not. And so finding people that really are and can really do graphic design really well is not as easy as you think. So that was what I would say. What do you think, Kirsty?
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's very easy to say, oh, I'm a tech VA or I'm good at social media, but you have to be extremely good at it. It's not, it's not a case of just putting a few pictures on a piece of paper and chucking it on the internet. You have to be, if you're working with a client who specifically wants social media support and promotion and brand awareness and all that kind of thing, you have to be bang on with social media. And it's okay to say you're not comfortable to be able to do something. You can learn to do things. I'm learning all the time. And yeah, I think we've had a few people that have said, oh, I can do automation, I can do CRM, and actually they can't. Finding a tech VA who can do, I watch you sometimes when you do automation, and I'm like, what's she doing? How does she even know that? It's sometimes I sit here and I'm like, oh my God, I could never do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, find really good tech people, really good social media people is really hard.
And Shopify. So I've seen more and more people asking for Shopify support. And I was actually in a group this morning where somebody was talking about Shopify. If you can get good at a particular platform and then, spend 15 minutes a day learning that platform and turn that into your skill set, I would definitely advise doing that. My skill set's in Go High Level. And I know that platform like the back of my hand, so I can offer that service like with no worries whatsoever to anyone. But I wouldn't want to work in Shopify. So if you can think about something that you're really, really good at, or learn a system. Look, I didn't start out as a tech VA. I'm looking over there because my phone's. I'm looking for the comments. I didn't start as a tech VA. I learned it, and I remember saying to Kirsty, "Oh, we need tech VA." She was like, "You're a tech VA." I was like, "I'm not a tech VA." She's like, "Yeah, you are." And then it took me ages to realise that I'd built myself up to that level, and I'm self-taught, so you can totally do it. Before we run out of time, so I want to talk about one thing that I will tell you now as a VA you should not do, and that is dropping your price. You have to know your worth. When I first started my first business, which I ran for 10 years, I was constantly haggled. And I thought that I would, okay, I'll take the lower offer because it's the only way I'm going to get the client. All you do is you price yourself out of working with somebody else because you've now accepted this lower offer and you've only got so much capacity. And you've shown somebody that you're not that experienced and you're worth it. Do not drop your prices, no matter how hard it is, because you want that sale. One of the first people that came to us, I don't remember if you know this, Kirsty, or you were there at the time, I'm sure you were. It was like a healthcare practitioner, and they wanted a massive package. It was like, it would have been a game changer for the business, and they were not prepared to pay the price. And it was so difficult. I didn't have hardly any clients at the time, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, we can't drop the prices. And I've actually got a post coming out next week, but I have just released a blog on my LTVA page. I should probably do it on the More Than a VA one, but it is about the things you should respond when somebody asks you to drop your prices. So look out for that one. No worries, Claire. You keep asking questions. You might as well. So which platform is most in demand to learn something new? It's a difficult question. I would say definitely Shopify, because you absolutely specify in that. Go High Level is absolutely something to specialise in. And the reason is it's a white labelled CRM, right? So I white label it myself. So I've got my own version of it called More Than a CRM. I also have a version of it coming out for associates, because I've used it for my associate agency. So it's going to be like a done for you account management system. There's FEA Create, there's Coach Space. There's so many versions of Go High Level. So all you got to do is learn that one, and then you'll be able to work across all of them. Honestly, there's the high level Facebook page, FEA Create, loads of Facebook pages that are constantly people in there asking for support. And we've had VAs that never used it before come on our team as associates, learned it, and then have gone off because they've got loads of clients that way. But anything you can do with AI, it's the future. So anything you can do to really get good on Canva, because that's like honestly getting more and more features on there. Anything you can do, like in the AI space, that would be the main thing I would say to do. definitely 100%. But yeah, if the world's moving towards automation and AI, then you've got to be in those kind of systems. And paying up front. Now, I only want to touch on this briefly. Somebody actually sent me a message this morning. I'm not sure if they're here because I invited them over to say that they saw a post I've done about paying up front and they were thinking about charging on invoice. We're going to have a whole episode on this, which is it next week that we're talking about this? Yeah, I think, isn't it? So next week we're going to talk about charging up front. I cannot tell you how passionate I am about this. You should not be paying on invoice. Customers will pay you. Do not think that you've got to pay an invoice because they won't pay up front. All of our clients pay up front, whether it's for ad hoc, pay as you go, or a subscription service. And if their time runs out, we stop work. It's as simple as that. We don't restart work until the clock restarts, and the clock restarts when they pay. So it's really simple. You cannot put yourself in that position where you're worrying about whether you're going to get paid at the end of the month. And we also had a VA on our team that brought a great point. She doesn't charge up front, but the client wasn't giving her the work, which meant she's holding her availability for that client and not getting paid for it. So if you're not going to charge up front and you're charging only for the work you do, what if you get a client that is procrastinating, they're just slow, they're not giving you any work? You've now held that time for them, but can't charge them anything. So you're keeping your availability open for free. You know, it's crazy to me. So don't please charge up front, but we're going to talk about that next week. So if you want to know all about charging up front and the methods we use, we're going to bring that to you next week on the 21st at 10 o'clock. And I just want to finish with one final point. My top tip, one of my top tips, I've got loads of top tips, is personal development. I spent the first 2 years literally on every course you can imagine. I literally went to every workshop there was. I joined my local Chamber of Commerce. So if you're in the UK, join your local Chamber of Commerce. It's worth it for the first year or two because you're going to get access. Well, I say that, but just look, because ours is connected to another organisation and they offer everything for free anyway. So if it's free anyway, don't join your local chamber, but you do get loads of support and help in your initial couple of years. So join your local chamber, then you'll get all the emails of all the events that are coming up and go to them, and it'll all be about AI, there'll be stuff about marketing, social media, how to find new customers. All of the stuff I learned in those first couple of years, I now don't feel like I need to go to any of those things anymore. And it's just taught me so much. So I would say work on your personal development, take every course, attend every workshop, and don't get your ego out the way. So I still go to things or attend things that I think I don't need to do that. I know everything, but I'll do it and be biting my lip because I think I know all this, but I do it anyway, and I'll learn something new every time. So that's what I would say just to end today. What about you, Kirsty?
No, you choked then. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely agreeing. You've got to just keep on learning new things because, you know, you might get a client that comes along that wants one specific thing that you can just offer like that, and experience things like that and just build up on that. But definitely just keep on plugging away, go to the courses, go to the workshops, even like YouTube, the things I've learned from YouTube, and I've been doing things like I'm not sure about or whatever. Just do it. Just go on YouTube, type it in, or ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for everything. I literally say, how do I do this blog post? And it just tells me. And I say, talk to me like I'm 5 years old because I understand you better. This is what I want. This is how I want to create it. And it just creates it for you. But it's just about getting yourself out there, going on the YouTubes, going to the workshops, and just learning.
Totally. And you know, I had another conflict with someone. It's all about conflict. I had another conflict with somebody about last year who I said, and I think, look, I'm not saying that you should say that you can do things you can't do as a VA. You shouldn't. You definitely shouldn't say you can do something you can't do. But if you know you've got the acumen to learn and you can learn fast, you shouldn't turn down a job from a potential client if you know you could learn it by tomorrow. So loads of times I said, no, I don't know how to do that, but I can learn really quickly. I was honest about it. And I would do what you just said. I went on YouTube and I learned how to do it. And if you know you're that kind of person, don't be afraid to say you'll learn how to do it and just go and do it. Otherwise, you're just turning work down that you could potentially have learnt within a couple of days. It depends on you as a person, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So I think we're going to wrap up there. But it's been really, like, I could talk about getting started as a VA literally all day long. There's just so much more that we could discuss, but we'll break it. I think every episode will be helping people, whether they're already established or getting started. But next week's topic is going to be really, really good because charging up front is so important. And after that, we're going to start inviting guests in to speak. So if you want to be a guest speaker, oh, thank you, Claire. Claire says this has been great. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful that you found it helpful. Please tune in again next week. And if you've got some sort of specialism that you want to bring, you want to talk about your life admin, drop me a DM and we'll have you on so you can talk about it, get some out there. I want to help everybody that I can. Yeah, so we've got some guest speakers coming up. We'll announce the first one next week. We're going to be talking about loads of different things, from the legal stuff that you need to know, the people talking about life admin services. Hey, Claire. All sorts of things. Don't forget, go to the link in the bio on More Than a VA Instagram channel, and we've got free resources. So it's like you'll get access to a community, access to all our like templates, links, documents, all free. Doesn't cost anything. You might just get an email from me from time to time. So that's in the link in the bio. But I've really enjoyed today, and I appreciate you being here with me, Kirsty. Just can't do it without.
Yeah, it's been good.
So we're going to end there, guys. But I will make sure this is on the feed so you can pop back and rewatch it anytime you want. And really good luck with your businesses. And we'll see you next week.